Hello, friends of classical Sudokus without pencil marks, and welcome to this websudoku.com evil level puzzle. I'm showing you this puzzle upon request by a subscriber who wanted to see more evil puzzles. And I usually go to the websudoku.com website to find those because they are often quite nice. I have to say, though, that they're also vary a lot. Some seem very, very easy to solve, and others are much tougher and even sometimes require pencil marks. Let's see how this one goes. I notice the 2 and the 6 here force a 2 and a 6 in these two cells, making these two an 8 or a 9. And that gives me an 8 for this empty box, doesn't it? Because of the 8 here, an 8 will have to go either here or here in this column. For the center column, there already is an 8. Now, for column 6, we need an 8 also. And since there is an 8 here, and there is a ghost 8 here, this is the only cell for an 8 in row 4. And because we found this 8, we now know that this cell here must be a 6. And why is that? Well, this 6 puts a start to a 6 in this cell, and the 6 up here and down here prevent a 6 from going here or here. So to get a 6 at all in row 4, it needs to go here. And that gives us a 2 for column 9, like so. While I was staring at the 6s, I noticed the 6 and a 7 in this box prevent a 6 and a 7 from going in this cell. And the 6 and a 7 in the bottom row prevents a 6 and a 7 from going in this cell. And that leaves only this cell here and this cell here for a 6 and a 7. The remaining two digits to complete column 2 is a 4 and a 9. So this cell cannot be a 4, obviously, and it cannot be a 6 or a 7. Therefore, it must be a 9, and therefore this cell must be a 4. And this 5 here puts a 5 in either this cell or in this cell. Whichever cell it is, in combination with the 5 here, we now know that a 5 for column 1 will have to go either here or here. We can do more with the 8s. There is an 8 here, and there's an 8 here, and there is an 8 here, and that forces an 8 into this cell in row 8. And we can find a 2. Well, we can find two 2s. There's a 2 in this cell, and that means, and there's a 2 here, and that means that a 2 for this row 4 will have to go here. And with the 2 down here, we now know that this cell has got to be a 2. We can find one more 6. These two 6s, of course, and the 6 here prevents a 6 from going in either of these 5 cells. So it needs 6 cells, so it needs to go here. And I believe the last 6 of this grid will have to go here because of these two 6s and the 6 in the bottom row. And that puts a 6 here. Now we just need a 1, 5, and a 4 to complete this column. A 1, 5, and a 4. Well, there's a 1 and a 4 in the top row, so clearly this cell must be a 5. Now we need to find a 1 and a 4 to complete the column. And since we already discovered that one of these two cells will have to be a 5, we now know which one it is because of the 5 we found over here. So this is a 5. And I think we can resolve the 6 and 7 pairs, the remote pairs we had in this cell and in this cell, can't we? Because now the 6 here prevents a 6 from going here in the first place. Therefore, it must be a 7. And therefore, this must be a 6. Oh, these two 7s now force a 7 in this cell in the corner. The remaining 3 empty cells in column 1 is going to be 1, 2, and a 9. See, there's a 9 down here, so that's pretty easy. The 9 will have to go here, and because of the 2 here, this one now is a 1, and this is a 2. And of course, the 1 here gives us the 1 for this cell, and as I predicted, one of these 2 cells would have to be a 5, and it turns out to be correct. This cell must now be a 9. These 2 cells, of course, have to be a 3 and a 6, and there's a 6 already here, so the 3 goes here and the 6 here. The top row is in need of a 2, 3, 8, and a 9. There's a 2, 3, and 9 here. I can see this cell. Therefore, it has got to be an 8. Now we need a 2, 3, and a 9. There is a 9 in this box already, so the 9 goes here, and this is now a 2 and a 3. And given the 2 down here, we can place a 2 here and the 3 here. The 2 and a 4 missing here are easy to find because of the 2 here. That makes this cell a 2 and this a 4. And the 4 here, here, and here puts a 4 firmly in this cell. And therefore, in this cell down here, remember we have the 4 here, and that puts a 4 in this cell. The last digit for column 9, of course, now is a 1. And the 7 and an 8 for these 2 cells, of course, find themselves like so. And the 8 here takes care of the 8-9 pair we had here. This is now an 8, and this is a 9. We can plug in the 5 for this cell, of course, and for the cell down here. This cell now becomes a 1. The 5 and the 9 for these 2 cells are easy because of the 9 here. This is a 5, and therefore this is a 9. And the 5 here, and the 5 here, and this 5 puts a 5 in this cell. This 4 prevents a 4 from going in this cell, and to complete this row, we still need a 4. So it has to go here, making this cell a 7. We need a 1 still for this column 6, and the only place it can go is here because of the 1 here and the 1 here. The last digit now, of course, needs to be a 9. The 9 here and here gives us the 9 for row 8, and the last digit here is going to be a 3, goes here, and gives us a 3 to complete row 8 like so. That is now a 3 here. This is a 1. This is a 1. This is a 7. And this is a 7. The last digit here is a 4. I don't think that was too difficult, was it? But as promised, here was an evil level puzzle. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again here back soon. Bye for now.